and welcome to a short webinar hosted by the Commission for Educational Exchange between the United States, Belgium, and Luxembourg. In addition to administering the Fulbright programs for Belgium, Luxembourg, and the European Union, the Commission for Educational Exchange also offers educational advising for students in Belgium who are thinking about studying in the United States. Education USA makes applying to a US college or university clear by identifying your 5 steps to US study. In today's video, we'll talk about financing your studies in the United States. When calculating how much it will cost you to attend a US university, it is important to consider both tuition and fees and the cost of living. Tuition refers to the cost of instruction and fees to the costs associated with services like the library or health center. International students are required to pay both tuition and fees. Tuition and fees vary greatly from school to school. Note, for example, that private universities which do not receive state funding often charge higher tuition fees. Remember that there is no correlation between the level of tuition and fees and the quality of an institution. In addition to tuition and fees, students must estimate the living expenses associated with attending a particular university. Living expenses include transportation, books, health insurance, and of course, cost of living. Keep in mind that some areas of the country, like California and the Northeast, are traditionally associated with higher costs of living. University websites are a good source of information about estimated living costs and will give you an idea of what it might cost to be a student in a particular area. There are many different ways to finance your studies in the United States. These include scholarships, which are based on merit and typically awarded to very competitive students based on, for example, outstanding academic performance or talent in sports. Financial aid, based on demonstrated financial need. Loans, which must be paid back after graduation. And student employment. Students should keep in mind that the vast majority of undergraduate international students rely on their own personal and family income as their primary source of funding. Financial assistance for international students may come from home country funds organized, for example, by local government or private foundations or from a US university. We'll talk more about funding from colleges in just a moment. Since foreign students are usually in competition with US students for financial aid funds, international students should carefully explore all opportunities for funding in their own country. Before talking about institutional aid, I'd like to quickly address the question of student employment. Current immigration regulations permit international students in F1 or J1 student status to work on campus up to 20 hours per week when school is in session and full-time during vacation periods. While this is a good way to earn money to pay for incidental expenses like books and school supplies or late-night snacks at the library, it cannot be relied upon to cover your tuition costs. When people talk about scholarships and financial aid, they are often referring to institutional aid, that is, aid offered by a student's university or college. Institutional aid may be need-based or merit-based and typically is comprised of a combination of scholarships and grants which do not need to be repaid, loans which need to be repaid, or even on-campus jobs. Financial aid is rare at public colleges and at colleges that offer professional courses like engineering, business administration, and health professions. More financial aid may be available from private colleges, but as we've already discovered, these schools may have a higher price tag to begin with. It is particularly difficult to get a so-called full scholarship to cover all the costs of education, and these are reserved for truly exceptional international applicants. Most institutions will take a student's financial situation into account, calculating how much the student and his or her family can afford to contribute, and then offer financial aid to help meet the calculated financial need. Keep in mind that only a handful of wealthy colleges in the United States are able to meet the financial need of all the students they admit, and admissions to these schools is very competitive. When financing your studies, do not forget to calculate the cost. All American universities and colleges are mandated to have a cost calculator on their website, which you can use to estimate the total cost of attending the university. It is also important to start early. Scholarship and financial aid deadlines vary and may be earlier than you think. Do not wait until you have received an offer of admission to figure out how to pay for your degree. Know what makes you special. So called niche scholarships are awarded to students based on specific criteria or talents. They might be based on your academic performance, your intended major, or even your personal background. Identify and benefit from the factors that make you unique. Lastly, be honest. When allocating financial aid, universities try to fully understand a student's financial situation. When filling out financial information during the application process, it is therefore important to provide information that is as honest and complete as possible. Do your research by perusing college and university websites and using scholarship search engines. Of course, you can always contact your local Education USA Advising Center for personalized advice.